So let's talk about studies where you're analyzing data that someone else collected rather than you're designing the study in your own data collection procedures. It is really, really important to consider the source of any data that you're using. Here's a bunch of questions that should be considering. Who collected the data? Why did they collect the data? Who funded the effort to collect the data? Could that have biased things? Did the research participants give permission for their data to be analyzed in the way that we're intending now? Like, hopefully they gave permission for the previous analysis, but that doesn't mean they're okay with you using it now. And there have been lawsuits about things like that. Related to concept is indigenous data sovereignty. One of the lawsuits was from an indigenous group in Arizona, I think. This is a big one we should be asked basically all the time. Who or what is missing from the data, whether by neglect or on purpose? Now, if you want to study like the effects of this medicine in people in the US, that's totally fine. You don't have to go study it in other countries. You probably don't have the funding for that. But that would be on purpose, and that's fine. But by neglect would be something like, and things like this have happened. There's a few radio stations in town, and we only advertised on this one to attract participants. But of course, people from different demographics tend to listen to different radio stations, and so we missed people from this other demographic. That's not fair. Um, so we should be asking questions like that. Even something as simple as if I have data from the 50 states in the US, who is missing? Well, Washington, D.C., Puerto Rico, Guam, perhaps military people overseas. So people we don't want to be missing. We should be asking, was random sampling used? Was random assignment used? They don't have to be used. A lot of times we can't use random assignment if we randomly sampled people from the population because we have to get their permission. We can't just randomly assign them without their permission. Um, we should ask, is the data even a sample at all, or is it basically data on everyone or everything in the population? Like if I have data on the 50 states, ignoring Puerto Rico and Guam, etc., I didn't take a sample of states. I have data on all 50 states. We could ask, is each data point independent of other data points? Did I sample like a person and their spouse, for example, or did I sample a person and their sibling? Well, there's going to be some genetic relationship there. Um, uh, we should ask, was the data collected in a cohort fashion, like following the same people through time, or a cross-section fashion, was like at the same time just grab a bunch of people, but then don't follow up with them later. These can affect the kind of conclusions you can make. What was the definition of each variable? Like if I was measuring strength of a steel sample, was I stretching it with this kind of machine until it breaks or until it narrows a certain amount or until I hear cracking sounds? Um, uh, we should know these kinds of things, right? Yeah, that's good. So basically, the overall question is, will this data set allow me to answer my statistical questions using all of this statistical thinking? Um, and then once you've thought through all that, then apply all the things you learned in the other videos about studies where you design the data collection yourself.